Well, hey folks, Real Aussie Witcher Rentals, my review of WWE's Mae Young Classic 2, Episode 6, the second round action is over as of the end of this. That was a terrible Matt Hardy impression, I apologize. But we move on to the semifinals next week, which will get us down to the semifinals for Episode 8, and then that leads us to the finals that will take place at Evolution. I know who's in the finals. Please don't be a dick and spoil it in the comments if you know who's in the, in the finals. We're going to get some great tournament action lead up to that, though, and hopefully Evolution is one hell of a card and one hell of a show, and hopefully all the effort is put in by creative, because all the effort is going to be put in by plenty of the women on the card, so hopefully it's one standout card and can be an annual tradition. But anyway, that's going to be Evolution. I'll get to that later. Let's get on with the second round action here. Renee, Michael Cole, and Beth Phoenix on commentary, and we start off with Xioxys, hope I said that right, versus Io Shirai. Love Io Shirai. The little bit I've been able to see of her before, like last year when she was rumored to be in the Mae Young Classic, and the other stuff I've been able to see since. She is hugely impressive, totally lives up to her name, and worlds like, of ability. And Xioxys was definitely impressive. I had not heard of her before this tournament. She impressed me. Io super over, good mix of styles, really, with the Lucha Libre and that kind of stuff, and Io just being so quick. Xioxys, great heel work, and after hitting a low drop kick, focused on the shoulder of Io. That was really nice stuff. There was a really cool moment where it looked like Xioxys was going to go for the Spanish fly off the top. That did not work. Hurricanrana by Io. That was impressive. And then soon after, the Acai moonsault. Really great moonsault. Didn't quite hit the knees and the chest like she did with Xia Brookside. And apparently, and I forget who commented on, I believe it was, I forget who commented on like one of my recent videos about, Xia Brookside and Io had a match, a much longer match, like recently. I'm going to have to check that out, so thank you very much for suggesting that. But anyway, Io does get the victory, 1, 2, 3. Xioxys, I don't know if she's going to be signed by WWE. I'm not sure who all is signed. I mean, I'm sure about some of them, but I don't know who all is signed from the tournament. Xioxys was impressive, though. I mean, she did pretty damn well. And Io, of course, world class. She speaks for herself. Lives up to her reputation. This was a fun match. Good, decent opener. And then we move on to Deonna Purrazzo versus Xia Li. This was good stuff. It was a really good mix of unique styles. Xia Li has really improved, or Xia Li, however you say it. Deonna lives up to her name as a virtuoso or virtuosa. Depends on, who you talk to. I did like how Xia Li hit hard kicks. She was really focused, so fucking focused. A little throwback to the whole Jeff Hardy thing. Deonna kept going after the arm relentlessly because her finisher is a Fujiwara armbar, and this was really well done. There was good kick and forearm exchanges. That was really nice stuff. I don't think there was any doubt who was going to go over here. And I mean, I hadn't read a ton of the tournament results, but I don't think there was any doubt who's going to go over here. Xia Li has already been signed. Deonna Purrazzo, I know, also was signed, but she wasn't able to be in the tournament last year. And she did well. She had a nice catch in the Fujiwara armbar and just did this just bending of the arms backwards. It was just very vicious. Deonna got the victory. Xia tapped out. That was good stuff. It was a good second round match. Well done. Both ladies got a chance to be featured here. My only issue with this tournament, this is just before I get to the next match, is they need to find a way to make the most use of the 15-minute time limit and then the 20-minute time limit in the second round, because sometimes some of these matches are only 6 minutes. And I get it. I'm not saying every single match needs to be like a show stealer, but some of the women are having to put in about 15 minutes worth of spots into 8 minutes or even 6 minutes. That kind of waters them down and doesn't, it kind of makes them look ridiculous. It doesn't give them a chance to showcase how great they are, how great they are when they're able to tell a good story. And I get time constraints and all that, but I just feel like sometimes some of these matches could have been a bit longer, but still, credit to all the women for working extremely hard, even the ones that are inexperienced and the ones that are super experienced. Not every match is going to be a show stealer, but there have been a lot of really good performances in this tournament. A lot more good than bad. And then we're going to go to, so yeah, basically Deonna won. That was impressive. And then Nicole Matthews versus Tegan Nox. Going to be a bit biased here. Even though Tegan Nox is awesome. I love Nicole Matthews. I have seen her twice live. Very impressive. I hope maybe one day again to get to see her at a Defy Northwest show. We'll see what happens with. There are rumors that she might actually be banned from the U.S. due to like a border dispute or something like that. From Canada to the U.S. I don't know if that's actually true, but if it is, that's unfortunate. But hopefully, maybe that can be worked out and she could actually be allowed to work at Defy and other promotions. Because I was really impressed with her. And her and Tegan Knox had a pretty good match here. It was very physical. It was a little bit. It was a little bit short. I will say that much. She did provide great heel work. Nicole did. That is, Tegan, super adorable, super likable, very good in the ring. She very agile, very agile. There was a great groundwork and submissions by Nicole. Tegan, of course, hit this like just huge headbutt, just slamming her head into Nicole, which is how you do a headbutt. It would be hard to do that with any other appendage unless you take someone else's head, detach it, and do that like Zombie Nation style. That was a weird game. I believe that was a game for the NES. That was a very, very odd game. But anyway, Tegan Knox then, of course, hits a Shining Wizard soon after. Nicole Matthews had a good showing. This was a pretty short match, though. Tegan Knox got the Shining Wizard, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully, again, maybe something could be worked out. Nicole could work in next year's Mae Young Classic. We'll see what happens. But Tegan Knox advances. I don't think there was any doubt that she was going to advance, so I almost wish they could have arranged this tournament a little bit differently. So selfishly, could have seen Nicole in the quarterfinals, but it is what it is. Still a good match. And then we get to Mia Yim versus Caitlyn for the final match in the second round. Probably the best match I've seen Caitlyn have, honestly. And I'm not the biggest Caitlyn fan. I mean, of her in-ring work. I have nothing against her as a person. She never seemed to be a bad person. If anything, she seems super likable. Her and Big E get along, and no one really had anything that bad to say about her that I could think of. Mia Yim, very, very talented. She had an injured hand after like a ring post spot the previous match, in the first round. So she was selling that and everything. And Caitlyn did focus on that, and Mia Yim was still hitting some, using her hand and like being, but it was like almost an instinct thing, like, I'll use my hand, ow, I need to stop doing that. I'll use my hand, ow. There was some good storytelling. Also a bit of stupidity. I mean, seemingly like, hey, let's stop being insane, doing the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over, and expecting different results. But anyway, I'm not saying Mia's stupid. I'm just saying the way they had her do it, it seemed a little bit silly. It's like, at first I'm like, okay, I get it. At first it was an instinct, and then she kept doing it. It's like, okay, now it's kind of stupid. But anyway, you had this one point where Mia was being targeted and Caitlyn scissored her from behind, unless it was just that dream I had. But you then had Mia focus on Caitlyn's knee at one point. You had a nice, Caitlyn got drugged to the outside. Partway to the outside, and then Mia slammed her knee into the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, by the way. And there was a nice nice targeting the hamstring and the knee. That was some good stuff. Caitlyn kept targeting Mia's hand, and that was really, really cool. It was good stuff. It was good selling. Good selling by Mia. Good vicious streak by Caitlyn. She had a nice spear. There was, she didn't get the victory, but it was still a nice spear. This was, again, probably the best match I've seen Caitlyn have. It was, if not the best match one of, if not the best match I've seen her have in her career. There was a good near fall sequence of everybody hitting some big moves, including that spear, which was just for 2. The soul food, by Mia Yim, did not get the victory. And then Mia Yim got a knee bar on. And finally, Caitlyn had to tap out. It was a good showing. The crowd was chanting, "Thank you, Caitlyn." I don't know if Caitlyn got signed to WWE. I kind of hope so, because this turned my opinion of her around a bit. Sometimes all it takes is one match. So hopefully they give her either run NXT or put her on the main roster. I mean, I'm not really sure what you do with her, but give her a shot. I mean, if you're going to sign a bunch of other women, if you're going to feature some of the women you feature on Raw and SmackDown that aren't the best in the ring, Caitlyn is leagues better than some of a few. And I think you know which ones I'm referring to on the Raw and SmackDown roster, but that's not our story for another day. I'm going to say a B. I'm going to say this was enjoyable, and we'll see what happens in the quarterfinals. So what do you guys think of the tournament so far? Have you enjoyed it? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Who has impressed you the most that didn't advance? Who impressed you the most in, like, a loss? Who impressed you the most out of anybody in the field? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Rittland, and I will see you soon.